So in this video, we're going to take a look at a few more examples of factorising quadratic expressions. And our first one is x squared plus x take away 6. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply together to make negative 6, but add together to make the coefficient of x, which is just 1. Okay, so remember we've got this sneaky 1 in there that we don't bother writing in. So we need them to add together to make 1. So now we're bringing in negative values here. So we know that one of them is going to be negative and the other positive, because otherwise we're not going to get that negative 6. And they've got to add together to make 1. So thinking of ways that we could make minus 6, we could have minus 6 times 1. So you can write them down like this if it helps. Minus 6 times 1, or we could have 6 times minus 1. Or we could have 2 times minus 3, or minus 2 times 3. And that's it, right? So which of these have the sum being 1? So minus 6 plus 1 is minus 5. 6 plus negative 1 is 5. 2 plus negative 3 is minus 1. Minus 2 plus 3 is 1. So minus 2 times 3, minus 2 plus 3. So we should have x take away 2, x plus 3. Okay, and this might be what's going on in your head as you're trying to go through the different ways that we can get to 6, and then changing one of them to be positive, one of them to be negative. But this might not be going on in your head. You might be also writing it down and working through all the possibilities as well. So it's becomes a little bit of a puzzle. So let's take a look at the second one. We have x squared plus 2x take away 15. So we need two numbers that multiply together to make minus 15, but add together to make 2. Okay, so 15 and 1 are definitely going to be out, aren't they? Because they need to add together to make 2. So it seems more reasonable to have a 5 and a 3. 5 take away 3 is 2. 5 times minus 3 is minus 15. So x plus 5, x take away 3. Okay? And again, you might be wondering, does it matter in which order I need to write the brackets? No. Can I still just write them all out, all the options out? Yes, you can. But as you go through this, you might want to try doing as much of it in your head as you can, so that you can really build up speed and efficiency. So, number 3, x squared plus 3x take away 28. So we need two numbers that multiply together to make minus 28, but add together to make 3. Okay, so the thing is that you start to spot that if they need to add together to make 3, and you know one's positive, one's negative, you know that the two numbers have to be reasonably close together. They can't be 1 and 28. So minus 1 times 28, there's no point checking this, because there's no way that minus 1 plus 28 is going to be equal to 3. You need two numbers that are quite close together to sum together to make that 3. In size, in magnitude. So thinking about 28, 4 times 7. 4 and 7 have that gap of 3. So 7 and minus 4. 7 times minus 4 is minus 28. 7 plus negative 4 is 3. So that works out. X plus 7, x take away 4. Okay, let's go for number 4. We have x squared plus 7x take away 30. So we need two numbers that multiply together to make minus 30, but add together to make 7. Okay, thinking about ways to get 30, 15 times 2, 10 times 3. 10 times 3, 10 take away 3 makes 7. So that works out, doesn't it? So x plus 10, x take away 3. Okay, so 10 times minus 3 makes the minus 30. 10x, take away 3x makes the 7x. All good. Right, okay, next one. X squared plus 4x, take away 45. So two numbers that multiply together make minus 45, add together to make 4. Now 45 is 9 times 5, isn't it? And 9 take away 5 gets me the 4. So 9 and minus 5. X plus 9, x take away 5. So the way that I'm really doing this in my head, if I was to describe some form of order of the way that I'm thinking about these, is I'm thinking about that product first, really. And 45, the first thing that comes to mind is 9 times 5. Okay, that's the first thing that comes to mind. I know that 45 is in the 9 times table. I know it's 5 nines. That's the first thing that comes into my head. I don't immediately think 45 is 45 times 1, because I don't really use that often. Okay. I also know that because they've got to add together to make 4, I know that the two numbers have to be reasonably close together, 9 and 5 fitting the bill. Okay, so this is the kind of order that I'm going through, and it does take practice. All of these things do, but it's essential that you practice as much of these as possible. That's why I'm doing a few videos on it.